Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Jaya Gaurani Kai Gaurani Kai Gaurani Kai Jaya Gaurani Jai Go Sitanath Premanande Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pascha Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakamvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kata Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna. So, I'd like to welcome you all. Maybe this is your first time also, some of you here in Vrindavan, some of these boys. Am I correct?
4, 5. Rest all day.
They've been here?
Yeah.
Yes. So you're coming from ISKCON Ghaziabad?
Yes, Maharaj. They came from different temples, like 5 devotees from Ahmedabad, 2 devotees from Muradabad, Bareilly, from Bihar, and 10 devotees from Ghaziabad. So
You're all put in the same pot.
yeah.
You'll be churned, you'll be cooked to become brahmacharis, right? Yes?
Yes.
Is that what you came for?
Yes.
Yes, that's good. Gopi Baba Prabhu was here yesterday, but somehow not able to attend with him some other time. Because I rather give in the morning than in the afternoon, busy time during the afternoon time. So, yes, we're talking about Brahmachari today. Brahmachari or Brahmacharya in ISKCON specifically. Brahmachari means celibate student life. This is one of the ashrams, the foundational ashram, whereby ultimately one will become renounced and surrender unto the Supreme Lord. In the Vedic system of life in Varnashram program, there are 4 Varnas. That means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And in the spiritual life, that is a social class. In the spiritual life, there is the Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Well, the goal is not to become sannyasi or not to be a good brahmachari, but to be a pure devotee. Okay. So, but before you can go to that platform of becoming pure devotee, there is like a basic foundation. It's like before you construct a big structure. It's like here, we're constructing a Krishna Balaram Cultural Center. So the beginning is like they have to put a very strong foundation. They have to have shell also, so that it will not uh, um, all the sand and everything will not push down into the earth. It should be supported. So yes, this means cultivation of self-discipline, control over the senses, detachment from material desires, and having a strong foundation in devotional service. You remember all of those? What is it?
Self-discipline, control of the senses, being free from materials,
And
Strong foundation.
strong foundation. This is what I said. Strong foundation. You forget that immediately. If you don't have a strong foundation, it'll crumble. You'll have difficulties in your spiritual life. If you want to dedicate your life fully to Krishna, yes or no?
Yes.
So you have to look for the long-term vision, not just right now, 1 year or 2 years. For the rest of your life, maybe 50 years. Yeah? You're in your early 20s. Yeah? So nowadays, people live like what, 70 years old, 80 years old? So you have another 50 years in ISKCON or 60 years in ISKCON if you want to stay. If you want to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is not just merely a vow of celibacy, but it is a life of discipline, lifestyle, aimed for purifying one's consciousness, our original consciousness. Krishna consciousness. We have to somehow, if our consciousness is strong, then we'll have strong devotion towards Krishna. We'll be able to have all the strength we need to devote ourselves. Love of God, love of God, yes. So the purpose of Brahmacharya, number one, to train young men in self-control and renunciation before they enter the Grihastha ashram or choose lifelong renunciation. That means brahmacharis, you have choice to go to the next ashram, and it is not a failure if you go to the next ashram, Grihastha ashram. It's better to live a very honorable ashram than if you're not able to control your senses and pretending to be a brahmachari, but again, the material desires is always continuing again and again and again. It's better you go to the next ashram where you should also control your senses. It is not that one we go to Grihastha ashram, loose. No, you cannot be loose in any of the ashrams. You have to be also very, very strong. So before going to Grihastha ashram, which we're not going to talk more of that, you have to be a good brahmachari. So yes, we have to develop strong habits of sadhana. That's why in the beginning, sadhana is very much emphasized. Sadhana means getting up early in the morning, come for Mangal Artik before 4 a.m., worship the Lord, chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, especially in the early hours, study Srila Prabhupada's books, and perform practical service during the day. One cannot just fully study or hear and chant the whole day. You have to do practical service so that it'll complement what we're doing in a practical way. This will help us progress spiritually. We should avoid distractions caused by material attachments, particularly sensual pleasure. Be careful. I'm sure you don't use any smartphones, right? They're not allowed. Very good. Because the big distractions nowadays is social media and so on. We should cultivate a mood of dependence on Guru and Krishna. Cultivate a mood of dependence on Guru and Krishna. No one else can save us. Even our own family members cannot save us at the time of death. Only Guru and Krishna can save us. It's like if we think of Krishna, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam bapi smaran bhavan jajante ante kalevaram. If we're thinking of Krishna at the time of death, we go back home, back to Godhead. But this is a constant practice every day. You cannot say, oh, when I get old, I'll think of Krishna. Right now, no. Or if one thinks of the spiritual master also at the time of death, effectively one's consciousness will transfer him back to the spiritual world because our Guru is always Krishna conscious. If a Guru is always on that level, then definitely if we follow in his footsteps and remember him of the time of death, then we'll also go back to Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, Brahmacharya is also mentioned. Chapter 6, text 14. Brahmachari brate stita, which means Krishna states that a yogi should be firmly situated in the vow of celibacy to attain spiritual perfection. Now, a spiritual life without celibacy is not spiritual life. In some institutions, so-called spiritual institutions, they will say, oh, it's okay, whatever you like to do, you can do. And you still be practicing spiritual life. Oh, if you want to have sex, unlimited sex, no problem, because ultimately you'll be able to control your senses. No, not possible. Bhagavad Gita says, lust cannot be satiated. You have to transform, dovetail material desires into serving Lord Krishna. If you wish to get rid of material desires, we have to please Lord Krishna. That's the only solution. Like Prabhupada says, you cannot control the mind. The mind is always active, even at the time of sleep. We dream. How we can control the mind? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always think of Krishna. Always remember him 24 hours a day. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 11, describes the importance of self-control and celibacy in attaining the supreme destination. And chapter 16, from first sloka to third sloka, gives different qualities that the brahmacharis should cultivate, like socham, cleanliness. We should be clean outside, and mostly we should be clean inside. And how we do that? We chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and brahmacharis should take bath every time they pass stool. At least twice a day. Sannyasi is supposed to take bath 3 times a day. I don't know about grihastas. How many times? Maybe 10 times. Hare Krishna. Yeah, self-control, Dhamma. This is no self-control, no discipline, no obedience, no tapasya, no brahmachari. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter 12, from first sloka till the 6th sloka, Narad Muni describes the strict discipline of Brahmacharya, which includes humility. Humility means obedience. Whatever Aravindaksha Prabhu will tell you, this is all for your own good. He will not do it for his own sense enjoyment, out of false ego. He is here, and all the devotees who are going to help you, you should be very, very grateful to them. Humility is the first quality that we need to develop, to cultivate in Krishna consciousness. Without humility, you cannot even chant your rounds. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, right? Trinadapi sunichena taroriba saisnana amanena manadena kirtaniya sutahari. Service to Guru has to be cultivated. Narad Muni says, and the color that you have right now actually is the color of purity, yellow. You're thinking, oh no, why I'm wearing yellow? I like white, or I like saffron. You're so fortunate. Yellow means purity. Mother Yasoda was wearing yellow sari when she was churning the butter to make yogurt for Lord Krishna. Haldi, haldi is yellow, right? The grihastas also, there's a part before wedding that, they smeared haldi all over, right? You know that. Maybe your sisters or, some of your relatives. So yellow is a very special color. It means purity. And brahmachari means cultivation of knowledge. Uddhava was told by Lord Krishna that by following all the ashrams, including brahmacharya, it will lead to perfection when followed properly. And Sukadev Goswami also one of the best example of a lifelong brahmachari. He was able to speak the Bhagavatam with full realization. Many, like even Narad Muni also, was a full-time brahmachari. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also is a full-time Naistika brahmachari. Srutidhar, whatever he hears, he can remember and he can recall. Yeah, it's like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is like a living encyclopedia. So if you retain your ojas, your semen goes up, then you'll be very, very powerful. You'll be so powerful, you'll be determined. If you're weak, that means sex desire is always there, then the determination is not there as well. And there's some effulgence, there's certain aura brahmacharis express or give. That's why Prabhupada was said, he met one person, say, how come your followers, they look very bright? They're all like shining. Yeah, because of being brahmachari. They retain the semen. Okay, qualities of a brahmachari in ISKCON. These are, I'm going to give you some of them. Sense control, again, indriya nigraha, avoiding illicit sex, intoxicants, gambling, and meat eating. Sex means should be only for procreation. So anything which is outside of that, and within marriage, it is illicit sex. We have to somehow, this is the number one enemy of spiritualist, or in that terms, everyone. Restricting the senses from material enjoyment to remain focused on Krishna. So we're going to talk that about later. Surrender to Guru and authority. The brahmachari must live under the guidance of a spiritual master. That's why it's called Guru Kula. Guru Kula means the school of the spiritual master. So right now, you're like in a Gurukul in Ghaziabad. You don't say it like term, oh yes, I'm going to Gurukul, but actually it is a Gurukul because you'll be taught under the guidance, ultimately of teachings and principles from Srila Prabhupada. Yes? He follows a strict schedule of Mangalarti, Japa, Kirtan, reading scriptures, and deity worship. So you'll have the whole day, it'll be structured in such a way that there should be no room for Maya. If you're fully engaged, and if you give a little bit of a space like this, that Maya can enter, the problem. So we want to make sure that you'll be fully engaged in all of these places. You learn many things. Ultimately, an ISKCON will teach you how to be enthusiastic in preaching. We're here to create leaders. We're here to create preachers. Yes. A strong brahmachari is actively engaged in preaching. We try to do that in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a holy dham, and it's a little different than the cities of Delhi. So definitely you'll also be trained how to become devotees in the field, preaching, distributing books, Harinam Sankirtan, Prasadam distribution, and so on. And you will learn how to give class, ultimately. You will learn how to give Srimad Bhagavatam class. Bhagavad Gita class and other books of Srila Prabhupada. That is the goal. That is the aim. So in that way, you'll be also be able to inspire others convince others to take up the process of Krishna consciousness. Benefits of practicing Brahmacharya in ISKCON. You increase your Krishna consciousness without distractions from material desires. A brahmachari can absorb himself in bhakti. So you don't have anything else to do for the next 1 year. Be absorbed in bhakti. Huh? And not just for 1 year, for the rest of your life. But again, the first year is very, very important. By studying Srila Prabhupada's books, you'll be able to realize your realization of what the books of Srila Prabhupada is saying. You'll be able to realize because you'll be practicing it every day. You'll become strong philosophically. Your understanding will become very, very deep. Purity and strength. Sense control leads to spiritual strength and clarity of the mind. So it says that what? Purity is the force. Purity is the force. So if you're pure inside, then your thinking is also pure. Your mind is peaceful. And if your mind is peaceful, what happens? You're happy. That's the goal of life, to be happy. And because people, they don't know how to control their mind, they cannot be happy. And controlling the mind means engaging in Krishna consciousness. Practical benefits. We increase our energy and intelligence. Some devotees, they can sleep only for what? 4 hours, 5 hours. Prabhupada sleeps only 3 hours. And the Goswamis sometimes they even forget to sleep. They eat very little, they sleep very little, but they're active 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. So the more you become Krishna conscious, then less sleep, less eating. Everything is become less materially. The bodily demands becomes less, but then you become so powerful. The energy is there. You'll have strong willpower. Strong willpower. Practicing celibacy means we become strong in our determination and inner resolve. Those who are under the influence of women, those who are so much attached to women, they have very, very weak determination. No, determination is practically zero. And they will only listen to their wives or to their girlfriends. They cannot make the decision. But Brahmachari, you'll have that strong willpower. Detachment from illusory happiness. We'll be able to understand the material happiness is temporary and it cannot fully satisfy us. Do you have that realization right now? Of course not. Maybe you have a certain degree. But the more you practice Brahmacharya, then you'll become very, very strong. You'll become detached from the illusory happiness. Now, practical benefits, again, increase energy and intelligence, better health. Prabhupada says if you chant 16 rounds attentively without any offenses and follow the 4 regulative principles, you will not get sick. But some of our brahmacharis, because of their previous karmas and before coming to Krishna consciousness, some of them are already sick having some disease from the past, and they carried out while practicing bhakti. So, what is the role of Brahmachari in ISKCON's preaching movement? In book distribution, the great success of ISKCON's book distribution movement is largely due to the dedication of our brahmacharis. Brahmachari power. Like Delhi, Mumbai, Tirupati, Mayapur, Chopati, Pune. Brahmachari power. And we hope to do that also in Vrindavan. We have good brahmacharis here also. Most of our departments also are run by brahmacharis here. Especially book distribution. They travel and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books all year long. Temple services, they serve as pujaris, kirtan leaders. Yeah, you learn not to sleep during the Bhagavatam class, but you will learn how to play midanga, kartals, harmoniums, and to lead kirtans. You like that? Okay, good. You'll learn out also, some of you, how to be good managers and teachers. Yes. You'll be able to go on Harinam practically every day. Organize street kirtans, and that will attract thousands to Krishna consciousness. So you're being trained ultimately to serve as a spiritual ground for new devotees. So now you're being trained so that later on you'll be able to train new devotees. Okay? So you're new devotees now, but when you're fully equipped, when you understand that, yes, I have to be also a good brahmachari, so in the future, you'll be the one who will train up new devotees. That makes sense? Yes. Now, we have challenges in brahmacharya. How to overcome them. Association of devotees. Living in a strong temple community with serious devotees prevents distractions. So now you're going to learn how to associate with devotees. And because you're all in the same program, so everyone will share each other's realizations, and also the strength. You'll be able to help each other in brahmacharya. Because of this regular sastra discussion will be there, the kirtan, and guru seva. Guru seva. Now, guru is a big topic because there is diksha guru and also there is shiksha guru. But they're the same. Shiksha guru is not easy. It's not a simple world. Siksha Guru also is the same as Diksha Guru when it comes to spiritual potency. Because Siksha Guru, you can have thousands of Siksha Gurus, but only one Diksha Guru. And those Siksha Gurus also should be respected the same level as one respects a Diksha Guru. That's another whole world of discussion. Regulated lifestyle, again, waking up early in the morning so that it will prevent you from Maya. Because if you have a strong sadhana in the morning, Maya, practically, she is very weak. She'll not be able to distract you. And ultimately, yes, only eating Krishna Prasadam. This is how we control our senses. No going to dabas, vegetarian dabas. I know one devotee never eats outside, never eats outside. Very, very, very powerful devotee. Avoid unnecessary interactions with the opposite sex. So, well, in your 1 year of training, I don't think you'll have any problem with that one. Interaction with the Matajis. It is not that the Matajis are bad. It is your consciousness which is bad to enjoy them. That's why we address the women as Matajis, except one's wife. Yes? Hare Krishna. It is not that the Matajis are bad. We should not look at them, oh, Mataji, oh, very bad. Oh, no, 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 no. They're devotees also. And we should treat everyone as mother, Matajis, women, except one's wife. You don't call your wife Mataji. You call her Devi. Yes? So, yes. What is bad actually is our mentality to enjoy the woman as sense pleasure, for sense objects, for our senses to enjoy. That is what is bad. Okay, so for 1 year, you will not have any interaction. I don't think so with Mataji. You'll be protected. But after 1 year, beware and aware. Okay, Prabhupada says that if you interact with Mataji, is only for the purpose of service. Yeah. And if you're going to preach, if there's a Mataji, better have another Mataji to preach to the same Mataji. Sometimes Brahmacharya says, "Oh, I'm preaching to a Mataji." Hare Krishna. You will not last that long unless you're very strong. Better try to avoid. Okay, let me see here. What else we can add for you? Brahmacharis. Oh yes. About being distracted. I think you'll be able to do it because you will not have any of these gadgets with you. Because we're living in a digital age, so practically everything that we have, we should use for Krishna. This is what I call Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya, according to Rupa Goswami, means using everything for Krishna's service. So we have computer, we have cell phones, and so on. So especially the internet, we have to be extra careful. This will lead to distraction and downfall. So set a strict digital discipline. Okay, let me see here. This number, a very good one here. Spiritual science of seminal retention, Brahmacharya Virya Shakti. What happens when the semen is retained? It transforms into ojas. We're talking about that. Spiritual energy. Spiritual energy. Your words will be very powerful. When you say something, people will want to hear. They would like to hear what you're going to say. And what you're going to say will be so effective that it will transform them also. Their heart will become purified. You're not just merely talking about knowledge, but you're talking about how one can become purified. It sharpens intelligence and speech clarity. Sometimes we have to speak in such a word that it should be clear that the listeners will be able to understand immediately. You don't have to repeat again and again and again. Just by saying one time, they'll be able to understand. Hmm. So it sharpens intelligence and speech clarity. It increases again spiritual determination. This is very important. So now, if one loses semen, it is very harmful. I was just reading the other day. Oh no no no! You know when you reach a certain age, like an old like 60, 70, then it's okay to do masturbation. No, well, right from the early age. What to say? When you get old, you become more sick. But they say no no no. You become free from diseases. So try to avoid yourself in such a way that your mind will be agitated. But I think, I'm sure, not I think, but I'm sure for 1 year, your mind will be maybe agitated also, but it'll be straightened up immediately because of the association amongst all of you brahmacharis. Yes? Loss of memory and energy, weakening of willpower, and less absorption in Krishna consciousness. This is because of excessive loss of semen. So there are many examples. Brahmacharis, we mentioned Sukadeva Goswami. There's also Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya. They're very strict celibates, and they preach bhakti philosophy fearlessly. Brahmachari is supposed to be fearless, fearless in explaining the Siddhanta. Is very convinced. How can you convince others if you're not convinced? So you should be convinced in Krishna consciousness. And you become a very, very strong brahmachari. It's easy to convince them. So the role of brahmacharya, this is the last one now, and I'm going to ask you if you have any questions. The role of brahmacharis in ISKCON's future. ISKCON grew because of dedicated brahmacharis distributing books and preaching. Was that Tirupati, right? The Tirupati temple? It was built because of brahmacharis distributing books. And Delhi also, oh, most of the temple presidents in Delhi area, they're brahmacharis, correct? Yes. I can think of maybe only one, which is not, or two. But most of them are run by brahmachari power. Yeah. Dwarka is one of them. And which one is that? Faridabad? Noida, yes.
Noida co-presidents are brahmacharis.
Yeah, also, isn't it? Radhakund, isn't it? Is he
Vedant Chaitanya.
Vedant Chaitanya. So, yes. Without celibacy, spiritual potency decreases. And Srila Prabhupada says, without strong brahmacharis, ISKCON will weaken. They're like the backbone of our society. So he encouraged strict training for new devotees. So this is what we're trying to do for all of you now. It'll create you a very, very strong life of being a brahmachari. Brahmacharya. From two words, Brahma, the absolute truth, supreme reality, and Charya, conduct, behavior, or discipline. So, the meaning of Brahmacharya means to conduct in pursuit of Brahma. That means Brahmachari means they know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have full realization. It's a big exposition here, and it will take few more sessions. But that is just the concise of the importance of Brahmacharya in ISKCON, and ultimately, we hope and we wish you all the best in your training program. That ultimately, when you come out of this program, you graduated from this program, you'll be very, very strong spiritually. We need a lot of strong brahmacharis, not by strength, but spiritually inside. Our brahmacharis, sometimes you've seen them patla, yeah, but they will eat like Govardhan Hill, yeah, but they're very strong, very strong, not just physically but spiritually, and this makes them very, very effective in spreading Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop here. Is there any comments or questions? Any clarifications? Yes.
In challenges is right association.
Uh-huh.
That point I explained.
You have to be careful also. Amongst devotees, there are different levels of association. Of course, in the nectar of instruction, a Madhyam Bhakta, he knows the devotee, he knows the innocence, and he knows the envious. Three personalities. So, as much as possible, Haribo. This is your midanga? Oh, it's our midanga. Don't push it. Put like this. Yes. You should treat midanga like a baby. This is number one. You don't live without, like taking care of the midanga. Just put anywhere. No, midanga is Balaram. Okay, so association, you have to be careful also, because there are also what you call materialistic devotees. Materialistic, prakrita bhakta. They're very neophyte. They only see Krishna and themselves. They don't see anybody else, like a Madhyam Bhakta. So Prabhupada says, at least come to the Madhyam platform. So you see who are the envious, avoid them. Because if you associate with them, you also become envious. Devotees, again, there are different levels. There is an Uttama Bhakta, Madhyam Bhakta, and Kanishta Bhakta. Now, if you're strong enough, you can give your association to the Kanishta Bhakta for them to make progress. But if you're also in the Kanishta platform, how are you going to make progress? Both of you will go to hell. Okay, so at least try to search for an advanced devotee than myself, or have an association with a devotee with the same equal level. Then you'll make advancement. Hold on. If this is Krishna, I will accept. No, not yet. But I have to accept it anyway. Prabhuji, punch minute only, okay? Yes, yeah, just now coming. Hare Krishna. Hare Ram. Hare Hare. Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, any more question? Yes.
As you told, we should not deal with Matajis.
I didn't say we should not deal with Matajis.
We should not communicate much more, except to seva.
Yes, that's right.
So, due to our lusty desires. So,
Mhm.
how can we control lusty desire? Does semen retention can control our lusty desire?
No, you can control the material desires by dovetailing all your activities to please Krishna. If you act in such a way that, oh, this is for my sense enjoyment, then it will be very difficult for you to make an advancement in Krishna consciousness. What I'm trying to say is that the more you think how to please Krishna and his devotees, the material desires will go away. Even though material desires is there, as long as we have this material body, material desires is always going to be there. But you will learn how to say no.
We have to transform it.
Yes. Prabhupada used the word dovetailing everything to Krishna consciousness. Dovetailing means you exchange. Whatever we desire materially, we change that for Krishna's desire. You understand? Yeah? You say, oh, you want to, because for service, you need to buy a vehicle or something like that. Okay. So when you buy the vehicle, then you only use it for Krishna. You don't go to cinema house or go somewhere else. A devotee, he only goes practically 3 places. Go to work, come back home, go to temple, come back home, go to work. Temple, work, temple, work. He doesn't go sightseeing. I travel all over the world and I don't go like a tourist. Oh, yes, yes, let's go and see. There's a nice attraction here. Everywhere is the same. I don't go to, like, oh, yeah. But sometimes maybe because, we have to use it for preaching as well. It's like we went to Disney World. Guru Maharaj and I went to Disney World. What are you going to see in Disney World? It's like amusement park, right? For children. But Guru Maharaj used it for the museum, the Vedic, glory of Vedic India. Yeah? Because there's a museum there and we use technologies, everything for Krishna service, as we mentioned earlier. Yeah? Okay? Anything else? Whoa, Hare Krishna. Any other question or comments? I hope you learned something today. Yeah? You learned something? This is your foundational structure of what you're going to be expecting for the whole 1 year. If you're able to master this, what I mentioned in this session, you'll be very strong. You'll be very strong spiritually. Okay? So I think we'll stop here now. Let me see. Is there any question here? No comments. Because it's the opposite time. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Itai Gaur Sitana Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Bhakti Anugrah Janardhan Swami Maharaj ki. So we'd like to thank Maharaj for telling us foundational principles of bhakti and foundational principle of brahmachari life.